morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Today is gonna be that day. Gonna have things go my way. Embroidery and fashion that sells. Using all my knowledge, I will excel. Stitch by stitch, let color shine bright. Turning a blank canvas into art feels right. Time is flying by and this is my art. With embroidery machines, I'm doing my part. I search the web for a magical design, looking high and low as I sip on my wine. Metallic thread, watch it shimmer and shine. I transform my blanks into a one-of-a-kind. Stitch by stitch, let color shine bright. Turning a blank canvas into art feels right. Time is flying by and this is my art. With embroidery machines, I'm doing my part.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. It is Monday, and we are here for another week. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and this is a channel where we talk about all kinds of crafting stuff, like sewing, quilting, decoupage, crochet, and so much more. We cover just about a little bit of everything, and we just have lots of fun sharing tips, tricks, ideas, all kinds of things. So if this is a channel that's stuff that you're into, this is definitely the channel for you. Okay, let's see who we have out there. Today we have Baker McFig from Louisiana at 45 degrees. Burr. Okay, we've got Debbie Maddox. Oh gosh, she's at 27 degrees from Arkansas. Oh my goodness, double burr. And Barb Chunley, a very chilly Central Illinois, 23. Oh gosh, I think Barb, I think you've won the prize. 23 degrees. Wow. I am tuning in from Miami, Florida. And today, let's see, it's about 84 degrees here. So yeah, not quite as chilly as it is out there. It's actually quite warm. They said we are expecting a little bit of a cold snap later this week. So I'm excited about that. So we'll see what happens. Right now it's 84 degrees, and I know you guys are pretty chilly out there. Okay, let's see who else we have. We've got Jenny Owens. Good morning to you. Let's see, Deborah, good morning. 29 degrees in the snow-covered Northeast Ohio. Wow. Cheryl, good morning. Oh, she's got fresh baked banana bread. Oh, nice and warm from the cold, snowy Wisconsin. Yeah, I'm sure that they can use some warmth. Definitely. Oh my goodness. We've got Leslie B, Jaws' mom. She's here from Lake Ridge, Virginia. Good morning to you. Good morning, Crafty Puerto Rican. How are you? We've got Lori Berry. Good morning from Western New York. We've got from Richmond, Illinois. We've got Lisa Lilly. Good morning to you. Sue Galvin. Good morning from Northern Illinois. We've got Becky from North Central Texas. Robin is from Maryland. Let's see. I think we are covering a few, and I hope I didn't miss anyone here. Oh, Cindy, here we go. We got, oh boy, 18 degrees from Michigan. Okay, Cindy, I think now you've won the prize. Of course, we've got our friends here from Canada. They probably win the prize too. We're not sure what the weather is there. Awesome. Good morning to you. Bettina, 30 degrees in Tennessee. We've got Nancy from Boston tuning in. Good morning. Oh my goodness. So we've got people that tune in from all over the place. As you can see, weather is ranging from all over the place, from really, really cold and chilly to very, very warm, hot, and humid down here in Miami. So you guys are making me cold. So I don't know, but it's really, really hot down here and really a little bit humid. But the humidity is not as bad as it is in the summer. So I'm thankful for that. Good morning, Deborah from Northern Virginia. And let's see, Glenda from Texas. Good morning as well. And Julie from California. Okay, so guys, again, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and I like to kind of start off with our little toast. And you know, why don't we warm ourselves up just a little bit? So go ahead and grab yourself a cup of whatever it is that you have in the morning. Hopefully it's something warm like coffee or tea, or just something that'll really get you nice and warmed up to get you in your craft room and get you stitching something. I mean, you got to get something done, right? We're way too close to the holiday season. You got to try to get at least an hour in your craft room a day just to kind of keep up and get things going, right? Alrighty. Yeah, 56 degrees in Long Island. Oh boy, Renee. Wow. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and raise those glasses nice and high because it's pretty chilly and you want something nice and warm. So hopefully you guys will stay nice and warm, and our toast for today is so that you stay nice and cozy all day long. Hope you have a nice warm day, and hope you can kind of get yourself in your craft room and just have a fantastic time. So let's toast to that. And of course, if you don't have a cup, I'll pour you one. Let's get you something nice and warm, shall we? There we go. All righty. Don't forget to raise that glass and give yourself a nice little swivel there. Oh boy. 26 in Oklahoma City, 100 proof quilter. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. Oh, Canada's, oh my gosh. 5 degrees. Yeah, they won. You won the prize there. Wow. Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine what that feels like. Wow, it's been so long. Now, I'm originally from New York, so I remember the cold weather, and I remember having to travel to go to school and back and waiting on trains and buses. And I remember waiting for those buses, and you were out like in the open and the wind was just whipping and my bones hurt. I was little back then, but my bones hurt because it was just so cold. And of course you had all this stuff on you, right? And then you're like, you know, when it's snowing, you gotta like walk through the snow, but it was more fun when you were little, right? But yeah, I couldn't deal with that anymore. And then came down here to Florida, and yeah, haven't looked back since. So I've kind of just been, you know, used to the warm weather here. Okay. Alrighty. Yes, everyone's here. Marge is here. Awesome. Awesome. Everybody's ready for the party. Okay. So we've got our drinks in place. Let's go grab some snacks because we can't have a party without snacks, right? So let's go grab some snacks here. I think we're going to take you to a little warm place here. And we've got some warm things. So let's heat up some of those warm things. We're going to take you over to the food shack and grab some snacks over here. There we go. Just don't forget, you can't feed the dolphins here, okay? But this will keep you nice and warm. You know, maybe you'll get some paddle boarding in, maybe some swimming, or maybe you'll just, you know, lie out and soak up the sun and get yourself a little tan or something, right? We'll do some drone delivery to you guys and kind of get you nice and warm over there. We've got all kinds of stuff here. Of course, we've got the coffee, tea, donuts. We've got cookies, croissants, and we've even got some pancakes in there today. And of course, we've got some healthy stuff like kale and carrots. All right, there's your drone. You're gonna get your drone delivery. Don't forget to reach out for it. Grab your nice hot of whatever it is you ordered, and it'll be on its way. What are we celebrating? We're just celebrating that it's Monday, and we're getting closer and closer to Thanksgiving and the holidays, and we're celebrating that we're on track in terms of projects, kind of, sort of. So we're getting closer and closer, and we're just getting more excited. And we're celebrating because you guys are here, just because, you know, it's Monday, and because. Yay, pancakes, yay. Awesome, blueberry bagel, all righty, yum. Okay, Flo, awesome, she's got her coffee. All right, so we've got our snacks, we've got our drinks. I hope you're in your cozy spot, or at least a safe place to watch. Now let's go ahead and get started with our topic of the day. So today, kind of a little bit of mix, because I didn't get a lot of time in my craft room. I did a lot of shopping with my mom. We were getting ready for Thanksgiving. We got our turkey. Yes, we did get the turkey. So now we've got our frozen little turkey there and ready to thaw out and start to kind of, you know, put all the ingredients and get her to kind of soak in all the goodness in there for Thanksgiving. So we went ahead and we did that. Kind of a little bit weird because it wasn't as crowded in the stores as much, but we went ahead and we got some of the trimmings, not all of them. Like we've gotten like the canned stuff that, you know, won't go bad. So it's like we got everything that we need for that, and the seasoning and all that stuff for the turkey. So, I mean, I don't know, how do you guys kind of do your turkey? Do you, you know, what do you put in your turkey to kind of dress it up? What seasonings do you add? Like my mom has all kinds of stuff that, you know, she puts into the turkey. So we always like to get it nice and early, and then she'll go ahead and marinate it, and it'll sit marinated for a while before it actually becomes Thanksgiving and we put it in the oven. So yeah, lots of people have all different ways of preparing and marinating their turkey. So share with me, what other ways do you do? I'd like to know. It's kind of fun thing that we can do is kind of share our recipes for Thanksgiving. How do you marinate your turkey, or what are your favorite little sides that you like to do? So yeah, definitely, you know, lots of fun. I know everyone's so focused on Christmas. I'm kind of trying to pause and look at Thanksgiving, because that's a really nice holiday. I really love that holiday to kind of just sit down and just, you know, relax, have a meal with friends and family. It's just a lot of fun. So she's got the turkey part, and I'm going to keep her busy all week doing that. So she'll be very busy with that. And in the meantime, I'm going to work on the other side, which is like the decor part on the table, the napkins, the things, you know, everything that we put on the table to kind of decorate a little bit. So we'll do all of that. Okay, so before we get into the actual project, I did get in the mail here byannie.com. They've got their new little issue that came out. This is fall of 2025. Now these are totally free, guys. You guys can just go to the By Annie site and you can sign up, and you'll be getting those little magazines for free. This is issue number 15. It's fall 2025, and By Annie has 3 new patterns in here that she shares. And it's pretty cool. I like By Annie patterns. I get quite a few of them. In fact, the last 2 that I got, let me see, I forgot to take them out of here. Let me pull them out of the envelope. Here we go. So the last ones that I got was this Zip It Up and 2 big totes. The Zip It Up I was really excited about, and let me bring this over to the desk cam so you can see. These are really nice to have. This is like a nice storage where you can put all of your stuff, like if you're going on a retreat or just to store some of your items as if you have it like on the go. So these are some pretty nice patterns here. It's called Zip It Up 2.0. And it comes, you know, you'll have a little handle here. It'll have a zipper. And then when you open it up, it has pockets all over so you can put all of your stuff. And so I kind of like to be able to make my own so I can, you know what you have and you know what scissors you have and the sizing, and you want to make sure that you make it so that your stuff will fit. Because how many of us have a little project bag and then let's say you want to bring the certain pair of scissors and then you go to put it in the pocket and it doesn't fit? Little annoying, right? Yeah. So then you got to switch to something else or put it somewhere else, right? So I like to be able to kind of make my own projects so I can design it around the stuff that I have. And this allows me to kind of do that. And of course you'll follow her pattern, but you can always tweak it here and there for the items that you have. So if you need to make it a little bit bigger or whatever, you definitely want to do that. Yeah, you sure do like that Zip It Up. Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's by Annie, and she's got, some really nice patterns on there. And then in the magazine itself, let me see if I can flip over. She's got 3 new patterns. It's called Tool-Free Snaps, Extra Sharp Awl, and 50-inch separating zippers. So let me see if she's got them listed. I thought I saw it somewhere here. So, I mean, it's nice to get the magazine because you can get, if you want to get more information on it, you've got QR codes that you can do. But like, she's got all kinds of things like little pouches and things that you can make. And I really love the by Annie. This one is probably one of my favorites. It's called Snappy Sleeve. This is a new one that she's got, and they're all just little sleeves where you can put in like your little iPads and things like that. So they're nice little pouches and things that you can get. And so it has all the information on where you would go to get it. You can order it from her. But she's got one. This one's pretty cool. This is the quilty. So a lot of you seen the quilt jackets and stuff. So here she's got 2 different versions of it, right? She's got one with the sleeves here and then a different offset here in terms of the fabric. And then here she's got the fabric. This is view B. So this is the fabric with the zipper, of course, in the front, and you've got the fabric going all the way up. So 2 different styles that she'll show you. This is the Bella quilt coat. And she's got like tutorials and stuff on that too, which is really nice. And then she's got a section where you can change things and put on sleeves. So I thought that was pretty cool. And so there's a lot of little things that she shows in the magazine I really love. Look at that back. Isn't that gorgeous? She's got like the wolf right there and then all these around, and that looks so cool. So this is all the Bella quilt coat. And the magazine, it's totally free. You just sign up and you'll get them. I think it's quarterly. It's not monthly. It's like every season or whatever. So this one was the fall. So I guess I'll get the winter one later on. So, she's just really amazing. She has really a lot of stuff. I've got tons of her books. Oh my God, you just can't go wrong with by Annie. I have tons of by Annie books. Tons of stuff. I just love her instructions, and the quality of the items that you end up with are really nice. Now, a lot of her stuff will require the soft and stable. I know I bought one and I have it right here actually. This here, yeah. So here's some soft and stable. This is something that you'll want to buy because this foam stabilizer is in a lot of her patterns. So this is one that I picked up. So this is used in quite a lot of her patterns, but it gives that nice stability on the projects. And you've got, some things here for your backpack where you can add on to, your child's backpack here, do something a little bit different, gives it a nice front pocket. There's all kinds of different things that you can do. And she's got a really nice little layup of designs. Let's see. She's also got some tools. Now, I've heard different things on the stiletto tool. Some people weren't too happy with it. So I'm not really a fan of the notions so much. I'm more a fan of the patterns themselves. But she gives some great tips and ideas and things that, you know, some ideas of what you may want to do in terms of a project. She's got great stash of zippers and whatnot. But this is pretty cool. I like her layout. This is Zip It Up 2.0, which is the pattern that I have here. You can see here, this is what it would make. All right, so I get little mesh pockets here. And it's pretty nice. You know, you can pick up that pattern. I have it here. It's just a lot of fun. A lot of fun. She's got tons of stuff out there, so you can always just go in there. Will I be making any of these? Yeah, I think what I would like to do is start with something small. I'll have to pick out something that, you know, will be a little beginner type friendly type of project, and then kind of just advance along. I don't want to start off with something that may be too complex, because I want everyone to be able to join and follow along. And if I start off with something too complex in terms of bag making, you know, we're at all kinds of different levels, but if I bring something in that's too complicated, it'll discourage people, and I don't want to do that. So I might start off with something simple in bag making. I've made quite a few bags. I've made a backpack before. I've made a couple of purses and whatnot, and they're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. They do take up a little bit more time, and there is some more investment you would have to make in terms of like hardware and things like that, D-rings, things like that you'd have to get for the bag. But pretty much a lot of us kind of already have most of the stuff. There may be a couple of things you'll need to buy here and there, but we can definitely build up our skills on that. I think Bianni are great patterns to have and follow. I think those are pretty neat, and you can end up with some really cool stuff. So we may just start off with something small and then just build up. I know that I do need to make this Zip It Up. So maybe I'll start off with something small, and then we'll lead up to this one here. Just to kind of go through her patterns, you got to kind of get used to, you know, every time you start a new type of project, and I'm looking at a new designer, whether it be embroidery or sewing, you got to kind of understand that designer's mindset so that it really flows, because I don't want to just make a product. Right? If I'm working with this designer, you kind of get used to how the patterns are written, you know, and you understand the flow. That makes it a lot easier for when you purchase other patterns from that same designer, and it allows you to kind of flow a little bit easier every single time. And so it becomes very, very easy because you get used to how the designer works out and writes out their patterns. So it just makes it easy that way. So I like to find designers that do visual content. She has some nice written designs, but she also has a lot of the videos on her patterns as well. So you can also refer to that too. And so, you know, I'll just take it at a slower pace and do it, you know, break it down even further, which is what I like to do. Just break things down into little bitty pieces until you understand the concepts of it. And then once you understand the concept, it makes it that much easier to then do a more complex pattern so that you can bring the skill set with you to the next level, right? Okay. Yeah, her free patterns are designed for learning. Exactly. And how to, and would be great jumping because everyone would have access to the pattern. Absolutely. Absolutely. She's got a wonderful stash of free patterns on her site. And yeah, we can probably start off with something like that. That way it's free. Won't cost you guys anything except for the fabric that's in your stash, right? And you can always kind of look around the room and see what you have. that you can use. So we can try doing something like that. I'll pick something out and then we'll kind of work through that. So that'll be a lot of fun, a little bit different from what we've done before, right? We've done quilting, we've done sewing projects, we've done embroidery, you know, so now we can do just a little bit of bag making and kind of, you know, we'll dabble on some of the free stuff that they have out there first, and we'll break it down into pieces so we can bring the skill set up to another level. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's just something I wanted to share with you guys because I did get the magazine that did come in, and I have these are 2 more patterns that I bought when I was at the expo in Virginia. So couple months ago, right? And I'm just still now starting to kind of look at it. So we'll be working on that. And now in the meantime, I do have Soft and Stable, and I know a lot of the patterns do use this. So I know that if you have it and you see it on sale or something, pick it up because most likely is going to be something you're going to need for one of them. Alrighty, so where did we leave off? So last week we left off with the Giving Tree, and we had gone ahead and sewn all of this up. Now we had our final outcome here. Kind of looks the same.
Live from the Sunshine State.
Oops, there we go. Haven't done much more to it. It's still exactly the same. We still have the tree here. And because I didn't get to be in my craft room this weekend, I didn't get a chance to do much. So I figured, you know what, we'll just do it together because we just didn't have time. We were just, you know, doing all the Thanksgiving stuff and we needed to get that stuff going. All right. Oh, Deborah said my girlfriend and I made the Peacekeeper project pouch in a class. It's a free pattern. Oh, nice. Nice. Well, I'm going to review all of the free ones, and then I'm going to try to look at the skills that they're bringing in on each of those patterns, and I'll try to find something that'll work for kind of everyone and to kind of start it off so we can kind of go through the skills on it. So we'll be doing some of that. Okay, so what did I want to do here? So the reason I have not done the batting and the backing for this, and I haven't quilted it yet, is because I wanted to add a little bit of embroidery on here. Nothing too crazy, nothing out of this world, just something that just added a little bit of extra to it, just to kind of make it a little bit more unique. So I went ahead, and I know I'm going to be using a satin stitch. And so with the satin stitch, I know that because my fabric is on the very light side, I'm going to need a very decent stabilizer here, because the satin stitch is kind of a dense stitch and it will pull the fabric. So I need something that's really going to hold it. I did not want to use cutaway because I don't want it to show so much. So I am using tearaway, but I'm doubling up on the tearaway. So I went ahead and hooped 2 pieces of cutaway stabilizer onto the hoop, and I'm going to do what's called floating. So I'm going to float the fabric on top of the hoop here, and we're going to get to embroider on this right here. And I'm going to go ahead and just put that right on here. So what I did was I played around to see what it was that I wanted to do, and I just found a really pretty font, and I thought, you know, I'm going to keep it really simple. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to write Happy Holidays, and I picked one of my fonts here. I think this was a Maya font, if I remember right, and it just says Happy Holidays. So keep it very, very simple. I like that the font is a little bit thick here, right? So we've got some satin stitching here, but it's kind of a thicker type of font, and I like the way this is look. Now, apologies, my printer is a little bit off, so I have all this here going on, but not a big deal. But this is what my printed template looks like. Let's go over to the desk cam. This is my printed template. I just went into Embrilliance and I just printed it out. When you print it from Embrilliance, it'll automatically put the crosshairs for you, which is a really nice option to have. Now, how do we get this template lined up onto our project and how do you get this to come out exactly where you want it? So this is where now it kind of can get a little bit complicated, because sometimes someone will try to go ahead and embroider something and they end up not positioning it in the right place, or maybe it will shift a little bit. And so it doesn't exactly come out the way they want it to. So we'll talk about a little bit about that. So when I am prepping to embroider something onto an existing project, I always do like to print out my template here. And then I want to cut my template out to size and get it onto my hoop. And what I like to use to help me out are templates. And so here, you'll see I have a whole bag full of templates because I've got all the different hoops that you can use, right? So we've got a template here. This is the 5x12 hoop size. And this is for if you're going to be using a repositional hoop, which is exactly what this is. This is the template that kind of comes with it. And I'll show you, because I did print it out here, somewhere in here. So I was playing around with the ideas of the different fonts and what to use. It's a Maya font. Julie, it's the Maya font, is the font that I was using. And so now this one here is a newer font. And I can't remember if I wrote the name down. No, I did not write the name down. So this is kind of a newer font that has, and I'll put it on the dust cam because it's kind of hard to see. I think you guys can see that. See how it's red and white? So it's got like the spiral type of a candy cane type of effect. So I thought that would be pretty cool. And I put it on my repositional hoop, but it was too big for my project. And then I decided, you know what, I think this is very skinny and it's going to be very dense. So it will be pulling and tugging quite a lot because it is really, really solid. And it's going to be going through some double stitches. The way this thing works is it'll go ahead, you pick out a light fabric, or I'm sorry, a light thread. In this case, it's the white thread. And it will go ahead and stitch out the white thread, right, as like a satin stitch. And then it'll go back with the second thread color that you choose. In this case, it was a red thread color. And then it'll go ahead and stitch it on top of the white. And then you end up with this candy cane type of font looking thing, which is very, very pretty and very cute for the holidays. I can see this going on a lot of things. But I ended up deciding against it because I think it was just too long on the repositional hoop. It wouldn't fit in any great area that I wanted on my project. So I decided against that one. But I wanted to just show you, you know, the thought process that I go through. Like, can I do it? I love using the repositional hoop because, you know, you get so much more space, right? You can make it so much more bigger, right? I have the Brother SC 1900, so I'm limited to a 5x7 hoop. But with the repositional hoop, it gives me that little bit of extra, right? So I can kind of make it just a little bit bigger than I could with the 5x7. But in this case, it's just too big and it wouldn't really fit unless I tilt it in some way. And I didn't want to do that. So you purchased that font, Leslie? Yes, yes. It's a really pretty font. And for Christmas, oh my gosh, you can do so many different things with it. The trick is to really, you know, you got to pick those two offsetting threads. That'll work, right? You're going to need a dark and a light to kind of really offset it here. So this case, they tell you to put the light first and then the dark. But then if you decide to do the dark, you have to make sure that the thread color on top is a very light one to kind of show that contrast. Because if you don't do that, it's gonna blend and then it's just not gonna look like that. Yeah, that's really cute with a peppermint applique on a towel. Oh, yes. Yes, Connie, that would be so cute, right? Can you picture that? A little peppermint hanging on a towel. Oh my God, or here on the top, and then just put Happy Holidays on the bottom of the towel. That would be so cute. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can do so many different things up here. You have so many images that are out there for Christmas, and you can just basically put anything here on top and it'll look just adorable. And you can have that as a kitchen towel. Yeah, very, very cute. Definitely. So that's something that, you know, you can kind of play around with. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to use just the Happy Holidays. I'm just going to use the Maya font here. What was the name of that font? I'll have to get back to you because I don't remember offhand. I just purchased it and I don't think it says it on here. Let me, does it have it anywhere? No, it just says the size. I don't have that with me. I don't remember. I have to log back in to see who it was I purchased it from. Let me look it up. I'll post it on our Facebook group and I'll put it out there, and I'll get the name and I'll put it out on Facebook today for you guys, okay? Because I didn't remember to write it down, and I just got the font over the weekend and was playing around, you know, with that. So definitely I will look it up and I'll let you guys know tomorrow. I'll also put it on Facebook so you have it for today. Okay, so let me grab a swivel here. Okay, so templates, really important. You know, they do come with your hoops, and they come, you know, in all the different sizes. You got your 5x7, you got your 4x4, and you've got these teeny tiny ones that I actually have never used. But I guess if you're doing like a little, you know, monogram, little logo thing for your shirt, you know, these would come in handy. But I've actually never used them, but they can be used for something. So I'll go ahead and I store all my templates here, and I keep them because they're just so handy. So handy when you're trying to align something. So let's go ahead and put these back that we're not going to be using. I might have to come back and grab the 5x7 for that one, but let's get started here. I'm going to kind of make myself some space. Pull this over to the side. And this is my backing fabric, guys. I went ahead and selected the backing. So this is what the backing is going to look like. It's just something that I had in my stash. I believe I picked this up at Hobby Lobby maybe last year. But I thought this would be a really nice backing for the tree. You know, I thought it would go pretty nice together, right? So this is going to be my backing here, and then I'm probably going to be the binding as well. I may bind it. Now for the quilting, I'm thinking of just doing something very, very simple. Maybe just some diamonds, some lines going across. And I'm thinking of not quilting the actual tree. I'm only going to do the background here. Oh, Cindy says, I recommend the templates. Yeah, use them often. Yes. Biggest reason, you know the stitch field area. Yes, definitely. So let's take a look at that. Let me kind of put this over to the side here. Okay, so let's put this to the side. So we've got our template and we've got our hoop. Like I said, I only have a 5x7 hoop for those of you that are blessed with bigger hoop sizes. Yay, right? Oh, and Brilliance has a Christmas traditions download that includes a candy cane font. Do you have an affiliate link to Embrilliance? I do not believe I do. I think that's one of the things we had on the list. We just haven't had the time to do it. So I don't think we have an affiliate link on it. We're trying to work on it, which I'm trying to get better at that stuff. I get so excited about what I'm doing. I forget, you know, you should try to get the affiliate link so you can make a little bit of money and I can buy more fabric, right? But yeah, I'm really bad at that. I just do this because I love to do it, right? But I will try to get better at that and let you guys know when I have one. But no, at this point, I haven't done it yet. I just haven't had the time. So I don't have an affiliate link. But you know, I love Embrilliance. I use them a lot. I'm learning a lot on that. I like to pick up all different techniques, and they have really nice videos. If you guys haven't gone to their website, if you go to embrilliance.com, you don't just go just to buy the software, but they also give you free files. I don't know if it's monthly or how often they do it, but they do have small files that they give you, and they kind of showcase different techniques. So it's really nice. I know I can make, you know, small commissions and stuff, but I want to share the information with you either way, whether I have it or not. So yeah, if I have it, I'll try to remember to mention it, but in this case, I don't have that. I don't think that's one of the ones we've done yet, just because we haven't had time. But you can definitely go to their website and get it. Go to the Biannies, that's another one. Get their stuff. I'm just passionate about what I see and what I like, and I like to share it with you guys. So, you know, it's just me. Okay, so I think I am missing one thing here. Let me just check, because I don't see it unless I have it stored somewhere. But I do need my ruler, so let me grab that. Sorry for turning my back to you, but I needed to go into my drawer. Here it is. Okay, so you're gonna need a ruler. You need to print out your template, okay? And what I like to do is just line up these crosshairs with your ruler. That way you can make sure that you are nice and straight. So we've got these crosshairs here that the template gives you, right? And so I'll go ahead and line my template up on those crosshairs just to make sure I can go ahead and chop this size off. Now, this ruler is actually 6 inches wide, right? And my hoop is only 5 inches wide. So I'll still have another inch to kind of take off. But if you have a 5x10 ruler, which I know I have, but I know it's somewhere in that drawer, and I'll probably have to dig through it to find it. But if you have the 5x10 ruler, it would probably be better if you're using a 5x7 hoop. So try to get the width of the hoop size that you have. Of course, if you're blessed with bigger hoops, then you don't have to worry about it. But for us small people here with the itty bitty machines, we're doing what we can, right? So I'm going to go ahead and line up my ruler here with my crosshairs on the template. And I like to really look at the lines, because you can really be off just slightly. And I want to make sure that I'm not only lining up where in the middle, but I'm also looking on the ends here. And I'll tilt it just to make sure I'm right on it. I tilt both sides, and I check that I'm on my little lines here and here. And then over here, I will check that as well to make sure I am lined up. So I'm checking the crosshair in the middle. Don't forget the sides and the one on the top on the bottom, right? So you're checking up here, sides, and the crosshair, just to make sure that your ruler is lined up with the paper. I'm not looking at my mat. I'm just looking at my paper and the ruler. And then all I'm going to do is just snip that off. So we'll go ahead and cut that little paper off. Now I'm going to flip this over and cut it off here. Okay. Take those two pieces off and away. Oop, ripped a little piece there. Okay, so I've got it trimmed off at a pretty good size, but I know that it's 6 inches and it's still not going to fit my hoop. All right, so if I come here, it'll still kind of fit. Well, I guess, yeah, it will fit, right? But it's not quite, like it's still off just a little bit here. So I'm going to just do one more cut on the sides to get this lined up. And so I'm going to come over here, and I've got about an inch and let's say about a quarter on this side before it touches the little crosshair. And then on the other side, let's see what I have. Got about less than an inch. So I'm going to cut a little bit more on this side, and I'm not going to cut on this end here, just to kind of even it out. And I'm not cutting too much. I'm just cutting maybe about a 1/4 inch or so. I just want to be able to lay it flat inside my hoop here. It just makes it a little bit easier. So once again, I'm going to line up on my crosshairs, and this time I can't use the crosshair on this end. So I'm using my middle crosshairs here and the little dash on this side to make sure that my ruler's straight. I also want to glance to make sure that my bottom and my top are lined up with the paper, right? So that's another check that you can make, because you can be slightly off and not even realize it. So I like to just double check here and here and make sure I am lined up. And that looks pretty good. And we're just going to cut off a tiny slither. That's all we're cutting off. And all I wanted to do there was just make it so that I can lay my paper down flat. Okay. And you may get a little bit of a corner because you've got this curve, but that's okay. Not going to worry about that. Okay. Marge, you got to go. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow, Marge. No worries. Okay. Yeah. Baker McFay said, I need a bigger machine. Bought the 4x4 with repositional hoops. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But that's okay. We've got hoop envy, but we can still do stuff. So we're still fine. So, okay. So I've got my template here. Of course, I've got my tearaway stabilizer. Got 2 layers of that. And then what I like to do is I like to kind of line things up, but I need my template. And let me just grab another template because I think I've already done it on the other one and I want to show you guys how I did it. So I've got several. Here we go. Okay. So the way I like to do it, and I'll show you kind of the finished one that I did, you'll see that my template is lined up with the actual paper, right? What I did was I lined up my paper to the template. That way, I've got it taped with painter's tape just around, and I'll explain why I have this weird one right here on the side, right? This is how I kind of align it, that my paper is aligned to the template. Now I can take this template and I can bring it to my project. And let me just open it up again and find a little corner here. Let me face it towards you guys. And move all of this out of the way. So I'm going to face it towards you here. Let's say, here's our project here. Okay. And let's say that what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put this right on this corner right here. Okay. So I wanted to say happy holidays right here on the corner. And let me see here, 1 second. I don't want my fabric to fall on me on the other side of the table. So I'm just going to grab a couple of magnets just to hold her down for me. Just for now, because I don't want her falling to the other side of the table. I won't be able to get it. So got to be careful with that. All right. There we go. So we've got her kind of holding her down here. So, because I've got her off to the edge of my table, so I don't want her falling off. Oh, I love how accurate you are. Oh, thank you, Crafty with Shay. That's, I guess, just how I roll, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so what I've done is I went ahead and I taped the paper to the template, right? Why do I do that? Because then that allows me to really see on my project where it's going to be and where I'm going to want to position it. So there's a little bit of an issue where you've got to hoop this, right? And I have this square, which is probably where I'm going to be putting this. I could put it down here or at an angle. I could do something like that. So we could do that as well, or we can do it straight. But here's the issue. You want to make sure when you hoop it, you got to make sure you're going to have enough fabric all the way around to hold it in place, right? So if you decide to hoop it inside the hoop, you got to make sure you've got the fabric that's going to be able to kind of anchor it down so it doesn't slip and slide inside the hoop. For that reason, because I don't have too much fabric here. Because of that, I decided, you know what, I'm going to float it. And so floating means you're going to go ahead and put your project on top. I'll use a spray adhesive to kind of hold it in place for me. And I'm going to float it on top here. And that is it's risky because it has a higher risk of shifting around, but because of the spray adhesive, it will hold it in place. And you can use other things like pins and things like that to hold it down. But because I am not going to have enough fabric on the side to really secure it in place here, I'm going to go ahead and float it. And so that's totally fine to do. And some people prefer to float it because they don't want to deal with the hoop, right? So it really is definitely just a choice that you make. And it's just what you decide to do, and it depends on the fabric that you have and the project that you're doing. If you have enough space on the sides, some people just prefer to float, some people just prefer to hoop it. It really doesn't matter. Do what's comfortable for you. You can try to hoop it, and if it doesn't work out and you get frustrated with it, just stop and go ahead and float it. Okay, just do what you have. Oh, it's the accountant in you. Always have to be accurate. Yeah, I guess that's right. I guess that's what it is, right? Yeah. Always have to, look at those books and do those entries the right way. Debits one way, credits the other, right? Don't mix them around. What about using sticky stabilizer? You can use sticky stabilizer, yes. Here's the thing with sticky stabilizer though. One, a lot more expensive. Sticky stabilizer's price is a lot more expensive than the tearaway or having the cutaway, because it has that extra layer of that, that stickiness that it includes. Like that's a pricier stabilizer to use. And so if you're making a lot of these, if you have some sticky stabilizer, absolutely you can use it. But it's going to keep that stickiness and that residue. Even after you've taken it off, it leaves a little bit of that behind. And I just didn't want to deal with that stickiness. And, the fact that it is kind of pricey, I like to keep those for projects that I really need that sticky stabilizer. So I only use it when I need to. But other than that, you can use cutaway. We are going to quilt this. So I decided I'm not going to use cutaway because I want the batting and the backing on this. And I don't want it to show a lot of that cutaway. So I decided I'm just going to stick with this tearaway, but I know one piece of tearaway is not going to be enough because my fabric is just too thin. So I want to make sure that I double up on this. So I'm using 2 pieces of tearaway stabilizer, and I'm going to use my template. And then what I'm going to do here, because I've lined this up with my template here, I can decide where exactly I want to put this. Okay. And the nice thing about this here is when you are doing this template and after you've cut this out, okay, you want to line up your crosshairs here with the actual template. So once I put this here, I know that I want this in the center right there. That's how I want it, okay? And so what I do here at this point, you've got this little hole right here, right? And that little hole has a tiny piece of paper. Now you can just take this, flip it, and tape it. But you run the risk that when you flip it, you may move it just a little bit. And so then you're playing this back and forth, lining it up over here, right? Making sure that's straight. Then coming over here and taping it down, then coming back here. Oh, I moved it a little bit. So what I do, my little trick is I use that little hole that it has here. And I use that to be able to do, oh, Cindy, you float 95% of your embroidery projects. Yeah. I use my machine's basting box probably 99% of the time. Yeah, definitely. It's floating to me is a lot easier. But, in some cases, people just like to hoop them. But yeah. So I do take my template, and because of the little hole that it has here, it allows me to then take some painter's tape after I line this up here, let me move it over here so you guys can see. So here's my paper template. I got my template here. I am lining up my template with my crosshairs on all of the sides that we looked at before, right? So we've got the crosshair lines here and here. We want to line that up. We've got the ones here on the side, and then you have the actual crosshair right there in the middle. So I know my template is perfectly aligned with my paper here. So I will grab my painter's tape, if I can grab some painter's tape here, and I'll just grab a tiny piece. Okay, and because I have this exposed, I'll go ahead and tape this, and I'll just kind of, with my fingernail, make sure that I grabbed it. And that helps me to turn this around. Now, if you have any paper sticking out on the side, like I have this small little angle here, you can use that. Use anything that's sticking outside of the template to kind of tape down. All right, don't tape it to your table. You just want to tape the paper to the template. And now that this is already taped down and I flip it over, it has less of a risk of it shifting around on me. So as I did my edge right here, I can kind of pick this up and tuck it underneath, folding that paper along with the template. And so I know here nothing has moved. It is exactly on the crosshairs. Now this is already taped down on two sides. So I can go ahead and flip it and it's not going to move around on me. It's exactly where I wanted it to be. And so now you can kind of take it and go around and tape it around your template. So go ahead and take other pieces of painter's tape and just secure it in place. And so I have this nice and secure on here. And so that's how I kind of line it up. Now I can go ahead and move it around, put it anywhere I want, and I know that it's going to stay exactly where I want it to be. And this template is aligned with my paper. So now I can accurately go back to my project and look to see where I want this to be. And I can take the hoop underneath it, okay, put it underneath it here. And if I put my template inside the hoop, I already know this is exactly where it's going to be. And so I can take this over to my embroidery machine and just make sure that my needle is lined up to that crosshair. Once it is, I just remove my template and I'm good to go. And I can start embroidering it. Very, very quick. Okay, so go ahead and just put this on your hoop. Don't forget your spray adhesive. I'm not going to do the spray adhesive live because I don't want the fumes all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spray this down right here. And then I will lay this flat. If this is where I've decided this is where I want it to be, I can put my template here, because I know that this is exactly where it's going to be. And then I can kind of step back and take a look and see, is this where I want it to be? Do I want it to look like this? Do I want it to kind of do a little curve? Maybe I want it at an angle, you know, but you get to play around with this. Do I want it angled like this? Or do I want to have it straight? You get to play around with this and see exactly where you want it. And just knowing that your template and paper are perfectly aligned, use this to figure out exactly where you want to have it. If you want to have it, you know, all the way, first I thought I would angle it kind of in the middle of this pointed star, but that's going to be way too high up. So I can't have it like that. So I'd have to bring it down. Maybe I'll bring it down a little bit here. That may look a little better. Or maybe I want to angle it just a little bit to say happy holidays like that. You know, so it allows you to like play around with it a little bit. And once you have this exactly where you want it, you can take this hoop out. Go ahead and angle it. Put it wherever it is that you want it. Then grab some painter's tape. Let's say I want it at this angle right here. I can just tape this down. This is exactly where I want this to be, right? I'll tape the template down and all. Now I can move it around. Now I can slip this underneath and make sure that my template, because this is easier to line up in the hoop, I can just put this down inside my template and I know that this is exactly where it's going to stay. And so once this is lined up and I've already sprayed this down, it's going to hold this in place, and then all I have to do is just remove the template, right? And you can go ahead and embroider it right on there. Not going to move, and it'll get you exactly where you want to be. Okay, so that's the tip I wanted to share with you guys. So I hope that you guys can use those tips when you are embroidering something onto your project. So guys, we are out of time already. I think this hour just flew by, but thank you guys all for your support. And I'm going to go ahead and embroider this, and I will show you this tomorrow, and then we're going to start on a new project. So okay, I think to put the words in the arc area in between the star and tree, but off to the side, many options. There are tons and tons of options, and there's many different things that you can put on here. So go ahead and figure out what you want to put, what kind of saying you want, use your favorite font, and then go ahead and use this method to be able to put your template on your project so you align it and have it exactly where you want it to be. Okay, thank you guys all for tuning in. I really appreciate all of your support. I will see you here again tomorrow. Don't forget, we've got other YouTubers out there and support that need your support, so go ahead and give that to them. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.